Speaking English fluently is not about how long you can speak in English. It's not about speaking for 5, 10, 15, or 20 minutes. Instead, English fluency is all about your ability to organize your thoughts like a native English speaker. That's right, organizing your thoughts about a certain topic. So, today I want to teach you how to organize your thoughts and speak properly and fluently about your skills and abilities. And you can do that by using 3 simple steps. I'm teacher Tiffany. Let's jump right in. All right, so step number 1 is you need to simply describe the ability or the skill. That's right. You need to introduce the topic to the person you are speaking to. So for example, you all know that I love sports and I really like playing basketball. So playing basketball is a skill that many people have. So to start the conversation, I need to describe the skill. You've all heard of the NBA, right? This is a big organization in America and it has a lot of basketball players, right? So I can start the conversation off by speaking about basketball related to the NBA. I can say the NBA is one of the most popular sports organizations in America. Many people love watching basketball, and many young people spend hours literally practicing different basketball drills and trying to improve their abilities. Basketball is loved by a lot of people. So again, what did I do? I introduced the topic, the skill or the ability, basketball, right? Playing basketball. I haven't talked about my own skill or ability in basketball just yet. And that's what you need to do. When you're speaking about your skill or ability, you must start off with a basic description of what the skill or ability is. Another example for it is I like to draw. I love to draw. I use pens and pencils. So if I want to talk about art and my skill to draw or paint, I must first describe that skill in general. So in art, there are many different ways of producing art. You can paint, you can draw using a pen, you can draw using a pencil, you can use pastels, you can use markers. There are many different ways to produce art. So I can start off by saying, art is loved around the world. You can see a lot of different types of art when you go to a museum. There are paintings, there are sketches, there are drawings, and art is something that many people appreciate. Stop. I've introduced the topic, right? I've described it. I've explained what art is. Again, before you talk about your personal skill, you need to talk about it in general, the skill in general, all right? Now, the second thing you need to do when you're talking about your skill or ability is actually describe your personal ability. That's right. Now we're getting into more details. Now you're going to connect you to the actual topic. So here we go. We talked about basketball, right? I said that I love basketball. I started off step 1 by introducing or describing basketball in general. Now I can talk about my abilities. I can say, now I have played basketball since I was 7 years old. I really love the game and I really love to play basketball. I was a very good point guard and I loved also to shoot. So I was a shooting guard as well. So I'm telling you a little bit more about my skills. I really enjoy playing basketball, but I'm telling you specifically the position I played. I was a point guard. I also was a shooting guard. I could shoot really well. So again, I'm telling you a little bit more about my personal skills and my personal ability. Make sense? Good. Now, I also talked about art. I said that there are many different types of art, but now I'm going to tell you about my specific type of art. So I love to draw using pen. I love to also draw using pencils, but I've been using pen a lot more and also watercolors. So I will draw something using a pen and then I'll paint it using watercolors. So I've started to do more abstract paintings where in the past I did a lot of pencil portraits of people. So I'm giving you a little bit more information about my personal skills related to art. And that's what you need to do. Step 1, describe the ability or skill in its basic form. Step 2, talk about your personal skill or ability. Now, step 3, the final thing you need to do is describe how you acquired that skill. That's right. Now you need to kind of go back in time a little bit and give the person more information about how you developed this skill, because now they're already very well aware of the skill. You gave them basic information in step 1. Then step 2, you talked about yourself and how you are currently. So what happens in their mind? Oh, I wonder how she improved her skills. I wonder how he learned to do that. So you answer that question before they even ask it by talking about how you developed the skill. So for me, for basketball, again, I've mentioned before that my dad loves basketball. I can still remember right now when I was about 2 or 3 years old, going to the park on Sundays, watching my dad play basketball with his friends for hours. My sister and I would go with him and he'd play for hours. We call it pickup ball. Basically, you go to the park and you see who wants to play and you guys make a team and you play basketball. So I watched my dad play basketball from the time I was a young child. Then when I was in elementary school, middle school, high school, and college, I played basketball. So I've played for so many years. So the skills developed over time. So again, I told you how I developed the skill of playing basketball. Now, what about art? Now, this is something interesting because I also got this from my dad, but we did not know. And I say we because my sister was an amazing artist. When she was in 8th grade, she was already drawing people and it looked exactly like them. So I watched my sister and I thought I got my talent from her, but we both were able to draw really well. However, my sister stopped when she was in high school and I kept going. So we grew up, we never knew where we got it from. We just thought we naturally had the talent. When I was about 25, I was having a conversation with my dad about something. And he said, you do know that your sister and you got the skill of art from me. And I said, huh? What do you mean? Because I've never seen my dad draw anything. And he said, oh, when I was a little boy, I used to draw a lot. I used to draw planes and other things. And I loved art, but he never continued with it. So I learned that I got the skill of art from my dad, even though I've never seen him draw. So again, I learned that very interesting fact when I was an adult. So again, I explained to you how that skill developed. So what happens? Now you know for a fact, first of all, what my skills are, and I explained what they are. Then I explained my personal skills, right? I talked about the basics of the skill. Then I told you about my personal skills. And finally, I said how I developed these skills. This is how you speak about your talents and skills in English fluently. Follow these 3 steps. Talk about or describe the skill. Second, describe your personal ability. And third, talk about how you developed it. Again, remember that English fluency is not about speaking for a long time. It's all about how you organize your thoughts and relay or give the information. Now, if you enjoyed this lesson, everything that I taught is actually in my ebook, How to Pass the IELTS Speaking Exam. All right. So again, you can hit the link in the description if you want to get the book and keep studying. But I really hope you learned a lot. Remember that you can do it. You can speak English fluently. I believe in you. Thank you so much for joining me for today's lesson. Remember, I am always here to help you learn English and speak English confidently. I'll see you next week. You still there? You know what time it is. It's story time. Hey, I said it's story time. All right, guys. So today I have a story for you that some of you may know, but some of you don't. This is when I was in Korea. And I was studying in university. I was studying to get my master's degree in Oriental painting. And I was in class and we were learning about drawing the human figure. And I was sitting in class and my stomach, oh my goodness, my stomach was hurting so bad. You see, I was having cramps that day, so I wasn't able to focus on what the teacher was saying. And it got so bad that I had to leave class. So I told my friend, I said, please let the professor know that I'm sorry. I have to go because I'm not feeling good. So I left the class, and this was not like me. Remember, I told you all I love school. I loved learning, and I still enjoy learning. So I didn't want to leave, but my cramps were horrible. So I left the class and I really couldn't even walk. The campus was huge. It was huge. To walk from one end to the other would take you about 15 minutes. It was really big. 15 or 20 minutes. It was a big campus. So I had to walk back to my apartment. It was on campus, but I was hurting so bad, I actually was going to hail or get a taxi. But before I got the taxi, I said, I need to get some medicine because this is bad. So I had to walk from class all the way to the pharmacy that was on campus. I mean, I was leaning over. It was bad, y'all. So I finally got to the pharmacist and I walked in and it was a female and she looked at me and she said, hey, how can I help you? Again, all in Korean. And I said, I have really bad cramps. Please give me your strongest medicine. She said, you want the strongest medicine? I said, listen, I need something that works quickly and I need it to work for a long time. So she could tell by the look on my face that I was in extreme pain. So she looked at me and honestly, it was like time stood still. At first she was looking at me normally and then her face changed and she said, you sure you want the strongest? And I was a little bit caught off guard, but I was like, yes. She looked around. Now, again, it felt like a movie to me. Then she actually put her hand underneath the counter. Now, normally for the pharmacies in Korea, they have all of the medicine kind of behind them on this wall, right? But she didn't go to the wall. She put her hand underneath the counter and there was like this secret drawer. And she opened the drawer and took out this little, like, it was like a gold pack and kind of shook it. And there was like little something inside of the pack. She said, this will take away all of your pain. And it was a little bit suspect. So I was like, do I take these from her or not? But I was in pain. So I said, okay, take the money. I paid her the money and then she gave me the packs. And she said, it's going to work. Trust me. So as soon as I got the packs, I opened them. I needed it immediately. So I got some water and I opened the pack and there were like 50 little black balls. And I was like, what in the world? But again, I was in so much pain. I did not care. I had never seen this medicine before. I didn't know even though I could speak Korean, I was like, I don't know what this says, but I'm going to take this. So I had the water and I had these little black balls in this little pack. And I took all of the black balls and then I drank water. So I drank it and I swallowed all the black balls and I was like, I hope this works. So I went outside to go get a taxi and all of a sudden I started getting really dizzy. I said, oh no, Lord. Oh no, she's giving me drugs, Lord. She's giving me drugs. So I was super dizzy. I couldn't really walk straight and I felt really queasy. I felt really weird. And I was like, what in the world was in those black balls? So I finally got a taxi, still was feeling a little dizzy, got in the taxi took me to my apartment and I got to my apartment. I was still feeling weird, but then all of a sudden I noticed that my cramps were slowly subsiding. The intensity was going away and I was like, what's happening right now? And within about 10 minutes, I felt as light as a feather. I felt as free as a bird. Everything was great. I was smiling. Remember, I said I was in extreme pain. But all of a sudden, after taking those black balls, I was living it up, right? So I still don't know exactly what was in that medicine. But when I told my family, they said, Tiff, you done taken drugs. But it wasn't. I had some other friends who live in America. They are Chinese American, I think. I think they're Chinese American. And when I posted this story on Facebook, they messaged me. They said, oh, Tiff, I used to get those same little black balls when I was younger. My mom would give them to me when I was sick. She was like, yes, they're so powerful. So apparently there are some herbs and the combination really makes you feel better fast. So I just thought it was a movie, y'all, because the way she took those little black balls and said, do you want these? I was like, it's a drug deal, Lord. It's a drug deal. So anyways, I felt better. I will never forget those little small black balls and how they made me feel better. I don't know if you guys have had an experience like this with some medicine that you weren't sure about, but it made you feel better. If so, tell me about it in the comment section. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's story. Thank you so much. Remember, if you want to join our family and become a part of our family, all you have to do is go to letsjumprightin.com. I will talk to you guys next time.